All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown preview. We had my Thursday night wrestling review. We also talked about Roman Reigns being way in over his head on WWE SmackDown. He needs help. He needs help 1,010%. Either if it's Lance Noe or Zila Fatu who come in. He needs backup. He needs backup. 1,010%. Then we talked about AEW's all-in predictions. Can't wait. It's going to be a great overall pay-per-view. Obviously, the first Sunday before the NFL Sunday, I believe it is. I don't think so. 2 weeks, so I think it's actually a perfect product placement in terms of that. So we're going to talk about our fifth and final segment, our wrestling news roundup. So let's go ahead and talk about it before Emran comes on with his GSMC soccer podcast in about 17 minutes. All right, we have a confirmed match for WWE Bash at Berlin. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair will fight the Unholy Union for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And I think this is going to be a huge buildup. It's going to be time for these two superstars to break up. I want to see one attack the other. I feel like more or less, Bianca Belair has been such a face ever since she made it to the WWE main roster. I feel like, and then Jade being a part of AEW, I don't think she really needs to be, she really needs to be a heel because people will be like, oh, she's an AEW star. Like, of course she would be bad for WWE. Bianca Belair needs to do it. She needs to go out there and she needs to be like, she needs to be pissed off at Jade for not winning the titles. And, I think it's going to be a shock factor. It's going to be one of the biggest shock factors in WWE in recent years because the two girls together, as a matter of fact, are actually kind of great as tag team champions. When you see two caliber wrestlers of this kind of, of these kind of talents, you kind of think that every single match they fight, they're going to be absolutely dominant. It's not even going to matter. But no, these girls produce like 7 to 10-minute matches where they make the opposing competitors look good. They know how to sell a fight. They know how to kind of see themselves as like the endangered ones. When all in all, these girls in a real fight would absolutely kind of take over the match. But I feel like it's time. With the WWE Women's Championship under Nia Jax taking on is she fighting Michin? Is she fighting Michin? I think they need to find a bigger and better, stronger competitor for Nia Jax. So, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill could be that kind of person. 1,010%. All right, next we have AEW All In has sold about 5,000 tickets. That's incredible. Big round of applause. That's huge. It's taking place tonight. And not tonight, on Sunday, Wembley Stadium in London, which kind of makes me think if I'm going to buy it, then I kind of have to do it by their time. And I don't know when that time's going to be. If it was like 7 or 6 in the morning, it's going to be like, damn it. Like, I don't want to wake up. Like, you know what I mean? But for this, I'd wake up. It's like the WrestleMania. It's the WrestleMania of WWE. And now AEW has a chance to absolutely kill it tonight. And I believe this is going to be hot. This is honestly kind of the benchmark of the new era, kind of going in. You recently signed Will Ospreay in March. You saw Mercedes Moné coming around like April or May. And then you had Kazuchika Okada coming around the same time as Mercedes. And now you have Ricochet coming in August. This is kind of going to be a huge change. I feel like AEW storyline, AEW initiatives and AEW top executives are going to be like, you know what? This is it. This is it. It's time for new storylines. We've had the timeless Tony Storm be the AEW World Women's Champion for the longest time. We've had Swerve Strickland, kind of keep the company afloat, doing his thing. We've seen, MJF come back during this year. Will Ospreay is still highly conflicted with themselves to use that Tiger Driver 91. Bryan Danielson is on the verge of retiring, so something big has to happen because he's very, very popular. People watch the show a lot of the times because of how awesome the American Dragon Bryan Danielson is inside the ring. So, I don't know. It could be pretty awesome. It's going to be a great show. I can't wait. And much like I said before, Ricochet is all elite. Exactly what I thought. Exactly what I kind of thought. I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be that WWE conspiracy theorist. You have Samantha Irving as your fiance, an amazing Monday Night Raw ring announcer. She can make her way to AEW. Maybe replace Justin Roberts. Although I do like Justin Roberts, I think it is pretty badass. With the two not being able to kind of travel together, like that's got to kind of create a little bit of scrutiny on your relationship a little bit. I ultimately feel like Samantha Irving, you know, she got what she wanted with WWE. She did have her Wednesday hump day photo dump every Wednesday for about almost like, 8 months to a year. And now she could be signed. She could be signed. Like I said, she could be the next, top model for AEW has a lot. Obviously, what you saw with Sasha Banks filming in the Mandalorian series, Tony Khan is highly, supportive of their superstars kind of going above and beyond a professional wrestling. So 1,010% Ricochet belongs in AEW. It's better. It's better for him. I feel like it's better for the future of Ricochet. He's going to get a lot of talent. He's getting not a lot. He's going to get a lot. He's going to get a lot of titles. If anybody could dethrone Kazuchika Okada, it's him. Will he be in the Casino Gauntlet match? Maybe. I feel like he will, although he won't win. But I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. Next, we have Alexa Bliss dropping a hint on Twitter/X about her return, basically saying like, "Hey, watch me return." At WWE Bash at Berlin, she could very much, be the person to, challenge Nia Jax next. Obviously, she, kind of had a lot of, past animosities between Nia Jax, or she finds a way to kind of implement herself on main Monday Night Raw to take on Liv Morgan, which would be an amazing match. I feel like her and Liv, they kind of have similar, physical attributes. And I feel like it'd be cool. I feel like it'd be cool 1,010%. Maybe she finds it like I've been the real person running Judgment Day. Next, AEW star Swerve Strickland is renegotiating his contract, and by all means, it's at the right time. It's at the right time. Like you don't know what's going to happen at AEW All In. If you're going to be the champion, great. If not, then you kind of have to have something financially stable for the future. Because if you're not the champion, then you kind of slip down within the ratings in terms of the roster, in terms of AEW. People are like, you know what? Swerve isn't that great. Let's go and move off of him, and he becomes a free agent once again. Kind of like what happened with him at WWE NXT. Obviously, he doesn't want that to happen again. So he's like, you know what? I want to renegotiate my contract. I feel like Tony Khan is going to keep Swerve Strickland. I feel like he's great. Swerve Strickland on AEW is absolutely 1,010% dynamite. I can't imagine a better AEW World Champion than Swerve Strickland. Next, we have Ronda Rousey reviewed the real reason why she left WWE because she was getting like concussions and she had like a neurological like injury. So it wasn't necessarily because you saw her in a match with Shayna Baszler, and I thought for sure she kind of pulled a Naomi and Mercedes Moné, where she was like, you know what, this is bullspit. I don't want to be treated like this by Vince McMahon and his WWE creatives, only giving us 3 to 5 minutes of creative thinking, brainstorming time. So, it's I don't know, it's a very delicate situation in terms of Ronda Rousey because I got to be honest, I am part of that crew where I was like, you know what, Ronda wasn't that great. Ronda wasn't that great inside the ring. They automatically just brought her up to the main roster on WWE Raw, where she could have damn near been in NXT, kind of fought her way up to the top, kind of like what you see with Shayna Baszler. And I feel like if they bring Ronda back, they got to do it well. Even Ronda Rousey said that, Vince McMahon, she doesn't give a crap about Vince McMahon, but Triple H, she feels like under the Triple H, Paul Levesque era, she could be an asset. So possibly this could be a huge reason for them, panning out a deal in the future. And if you're TKO Holdings, the owners of WWE, the newly formed partnership with UFC, you kind of had someone like Ronda Rousey that created so much, media, babble, all this public relations, kind of content. And if you're the UFC representative, you're like, you know what? Yeah, we need to get Ronda back because what she did for the UFC was great. What she can do for WWE could be even better. So, 1,010%, I think that Ronda Rousey will make her way back to WWE probably within the next, like, maybe like a year and a half. Maybe like a year and a half. Next, Mauro Ranallo, one of my favorite wrestling announcers of all time. He used to be on SmackDown. No, Raw. No, but he was great. He was great. Every single time he announced, it was like you were inside the ring. It was so freaking cool. Obviously, a UFC guy. And this doesn't come to a shock that he's going to sign with another professional wrestling promotion because he was great. He was a great announcer, but obviously he left WWE because of, there was speculation, there was allegations that right now WWE SmackDown anchor Corey Graves bullied him, made him feel omnipotent, kind of made him feel like crap, kind of, to like, hey, you get, kind of gets way too excited, kind of being that like know-it-all, kind of like, kind of had his head up his own butt kind of thing. Still to this day, that's the reason why I really don't like Corey Graves, is because the way he kind of treated people backstage, the way he basically, kind of shut this guy's creative mind down. The bullying's never good. Bullying is never cool. I still now to this day, I respect Corey Graves as a commentary on WWE SmackDown, but I'm like, reality, I'm like, dude, like you basically, kind of pushed out a guy that was way better than you, that probably was going to get that main anchor in your place. And you basically got jealous and he bullied him. Like, that's awful. That's terrible. 1,010%. That's the reason why still to this day, I don't really respect Corey Graves. All right, next we have Brian Danielson's daughter wants wants her dad to lose at AEW All In's main event, and you can't really blame her. Like, Dad, you told me that you were gonna retire. This was the last contract. What the hell? And you know, you're worried about your dad. Obviously, like I mentioned before, something just a slight misstep. Danielson could get hurt. His neck needs to stay fixable. And this could be it. This could be it for Brian Danielson. This could very much be his retirement tour. This could be it. If he lands on his head wrong, his neck, he doesn't get to walk his daughter down the aisle. Or he doesn't get to, dance with her daughter on her wedding night. Or, you think don't get to play baseball with your son. Or you don't get to maybe walk your son down the aisle. Like who knows? Like whatever. But you kind of need to watch out for Mano Imana. You've been around the professional wrestling ever since you were 19 years old. Like everybody respects the hell out of Brian Danielson. And, even if he loses or wins, I feel like he's heading near part-time. He's going to be part-time. And Tony Khan loves Brian Danielson. He ultimately supports his superstars 1,010%. He'll send private jets out for their little league games. He, was, willing to give Mercedes Moné a private jet to fly from Los Angeles to wherever AEW was so she can do a passion project when she was filming The Mandalorian. So, he cares about his superstars. He cares about his superstars a lot. That's why I feel like, there's a, lot of I don't know, there's a lot of respect for Tony Khan in terms of that. So, Brian Danielson, his daughter wants him to lose at AEW All In. So she's probably the biggest Swerve Strickland fan, but I'm a big Swerve Strickland fan. So, I definitely, gotta find a way to, kind of make it, be like, I'm the best, dude. I'm the best. I'm just kidding. So guys, honestly, that's my show. We had a beautiful Friday. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend moving forward. Be safe. Have fun with your family. Obviously, life is short. Make sure you spend every waking time. You can always make more money. You can't create more moments and you can't buy more time. So, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember the Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the show, follow the network. Superman punch that subscribe button, and you won't regret it. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that subscribing to this GSMC Sports Network, you get access to shows, a whole bunch of shows. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have the GSMC Soccer Podcast with Emran coming up at 9:30. We got TJ with GSMC Sports. We have Jeremy with Sports by GSMC. We got Kenneth with the GSMC Football Podcast. Manny with the Chip Shot Football Podcast. My man Chris Shepard with the GSMC fantasy sports podcast, Tommy, on the GSMC, college sports, college football, NFL is right around the corner. It's going to be sick, absolutely sick. Nelson with the basketball podcast as well. So make sure you tune in to all those shows. 10% great guys. Those are my dogs. Woo, 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 woo. My dogs. My dogs. Passion for podcasting, passion for sports. Remember that we are always viral. Remember to subscribe to Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. So once again, hope you guys sleep well, stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.